You're watching the Astrology Weather Station. I'm Summer Chen, and to celebrate the upcoming 10th anniversary of the release of Undertale, one of the greatest games to grace this planet, I'll be dedicating this whole month's forecast to it. If you're not familiar with Undertale, it's an RPG game created almost entirely by Toby Fox that was crowdfunded on Kickstarter and has since then built a massive fandom. And so it's now available on PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. One of the characters, Sans, even has their own skin on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So there will be spoilers, but I tried my best not to spoil the biggest ones, since I highly recommend playing this game or watching the playthroughs online. I've seen it go on sale for $2.50 on Steam, so it's really affordable, and there might be an upcoming sale to celebrate the anniversary. Right off the bat, on Monday, September 1st at 1:06 a.m., Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces at the 29th degree. The game Earthbound, originally Mother 2 in Japan, the game that Undertale was heavily inspired by, was also released 30 years ago when Saturn was in Pisces. Saturn represents authority figures, and Pisces is a sign of the double fish, so it also kind of reminds me of when you fight the badass fish lady soldier, Undyne. On Tuesday, September 2nd at 6:23 a.m., Mercury ingresses into Virgo, one of its signs of rulership. Virgo Mercury tends to like puzzles or solving things, much like the character Papyrus, a skeleton that keeps giving you puzzles to solve. He also really embodies that meticulous, but sometimes over-explanatory and nervous nature that can come with Virgo Mercury. Adding to the mercurial vibe, he's named after a font and even displays his dialogue in that font throughout the game. On Wednesday, September 3rd at 12:48 a.m., Virgo Mercury squares Gemini Uranus at 1 degree. Gemini is quick-witted and Uranus is innovative, and so this is like when Papyrus fights with his brother, Sans, who likes to joke around and constantly makes puns, to Papyrus's dismay. Virgo and Gemini are both ruled by Mercury, and Sans is also partially named after fonts, like sans serif. So when they collide, we get some critical chaos. On Thursday, September 4th at 7:58 p.m., Libra Mars squares Cancer Jupiter at 18 degrees. Libra Mars doesn't like conflict, and Cancer Jupiter is the quintessential nurturing mother figure. This dynamic mirrors the scene when Toriel, the motherly monster who saves you at the beginning of the game, stops you from leaving the safe area and, out of concern for you, asks you to prove yourself through a fight. Friday, September 5th at 9:51 p.m., Uranus stations retrograde in Gemini at the 1st degree. Gemini is a sign of the twins, and there's a character named Kara that looks very similar to the protagonist Frisk. Retrogrades tend to bring back things from the past, and you find out more and more about Kara throughout the whole game. On Sunday, September 7th at 11:08 a.m., the Pisces moon opposes the Virgo sun, while being close to the orbital nodes, which means it's not only a full moon, but also a total lunar eclipse. Eclipses can be volatile, but can also symbolize rebirth, turning points, sudden opportunities, and there is a lot of those in the game. On the Pisces-Virgo axis, it really emphasizes compassion, the mercy option in a fight, versus efficiency, which is the fight option. So this could be asking you, where in your life could you use more harmony, and where could you benefit from more structure? A whole week later, on Friday, September 12th at 12:30 a.m., the Virgo sun sextiles Cancer Jupiter at 19 degrees. Later in the day, Virgo Mercury then also sextiles Cancer Jupiter at 19 degrees. In last month's forecast, I talked about how Rachel Ray, the celebrity chef, is a Virgo sun and moon. And so this reminds me a little of the boss fight with Muffet, the spider monster, who is detail-oriented enough and, has a lot of arms to be able to bake and run a bake sale. And she's doing it for a just cause, the classic Virgo being of service. Later in the boss fight, a telegram, Virgo Mercury as communication, comes and you end up reconciling the positive sextile with Muffet. On Saturday, September 13th at 3:51 a.m., Virgo Mercury conjuncts the Virgo sun at 20 degrees, which is a positive aspect called a Mercury Cazimi. Virgo is analytical, intelligent, but can also be self-deprecating due to their perfectionism. And this is exactly like Alphys, a reptilian monster who got appointed as the royal scientist due to her brilliance. So the sun is her high position, and Mercury is that need for constant experimentation, but also anxiety and worry. On Monday, September 15th, we celebrate the 10th anniversary since Undertale was officially released. So happy 10 years to this monumental masterpiece with such amazing music that it momentarily cures my depression. At 8:03 p.m., Leo Venus sextiles Libra Mars at 25 degrees. The Undertale release chart in 2015 also had Venus in Leo with an exact sextile to not Mars, but Mercury in Libra. In the chart, Mars is actually also in Leo, almost conjunct Venus. So you can see how important Leo and Libra were in popularizing this game, making charming magnetism our keywords for this aspect.